Hello, Beardabees here, and today we're looking at a simple passworded Forcefield system using Calclavia's Modular Forcefield system mod and Computercraft. It's a very small part of Computercraft. Don't worry, if I can do it, you can do it. Very simple. What the system does is protect all of your goodies behind a force field that nobody can get in, with a computer up front that asks you for a password. If you get the password wrong, you're out of luck. If you get the password correct, in this case I've just used the word correct, the force field goes down. And then at any point you can type the word lock to restore the force field. Nice. Here's how it works. I'll just disable it and we'll go through the pieces. The first thing that you need is a source of power for all these gubbins. Here I'm using a Tesseract linked to, well, it's a creative cell, but this would be your power network. I think it's a good idea to use a Tesseract or something like that, because if you had a cable running into this system, somebody could just break the cable, and destroy the power connection here. Whereas in this case, you can sort of distribute your power a little bit more and make it a little bit harder to knock out. The coercion driver here, next to the source of power, this just takes in the power and turns it into Fortron. The Fortron capacitor holds all that and feeds it to the force field projector. Here we're just using the cube module and just a couple of scale modules just to throw up that simple box that we saw. You can obviously make this any size and shape that you need. A biometric identifier is always a good thing to put down when you're doing these. The biometric identifier, if you have it in place, even if you don't put any cards or anything like that into it, will let you sneak and walk through the force field yourself. Nobody else will be able to do this. There's nothing more embarrassing than putting down a force field and then not being able to get into it to turn off the system again. So if you want to avoid that kind of horrible screw up, then always put down a biometric identifier. The other nice thing to do might be to have a remote controller linked to the force field projector just so you can turn it on and off with this. Always handy. Okay, the computers themselves then, they're the key part of this. I'll just turn this off so that we can have a look. Oops, I need to turn this off here. I'll stop the programs by pressing Control and T, just so we can have a look at them. There we go. The first thing you're going to want to do is pop down your computers and have a look at their IDs. Each computer has a numeric ID. That's computer 0. This is computer 1. And then it's a good idea to give them a label as well. If you type label set, here I've called this one server, you see it's picked up there, label server. This one, label set client, is what I did. This will just let you sort of refer to those labels. And importantly, if the computer is labeled, when you break it and put it back down again, it will still have all its programs. If you don't do that, when you break the computer and put it back down again, it will be sort of a fresh computer. So always a good idea to label them. Stick some wireless modems on the computers. I've gone for the back here. These will let the computers talk to each other. They've got a range of, I think, about 16 blocks by default, so you're going to want the computers to be fairly close to each other. And then you're going to need to get the programs themselves. What I'll do is I'll put paste bin links to the programs in question. I've just called them prompt and lock. You can either copy them or you can use this paste bin command. If you type paste bin get, there'll be a code which I'll put in the description, and it'll just look something like this. So you type that in, and then the name of the program. So that's how I've called it, prompt. So you type that, press prompt on the client machine, and then on this one you're going to want paste bin get. Oops. You're going to want paste bin get, and then whatever the code I give you is, and then lock. We'll have a quick look at the programs now. Now, just kind of right out the gates, hands up, I'm not a coder at all. I've never programmed anything in my life, so I've arrived at these programs just by pure luck and experimentation, really. They're childishly simple, so please don't laugh. There's no doubt dozens of better ways to do this, but here's how I did it. Here we go. This is all there's to it. It's just a few lines, really. This line here just opens the communication with the modem. This word here, back, is because the modem is on the back of the computer. Change that to the top if you've put the modem on the top or what have you. this part of the code here just looks for the input, asks the user to type something in and then reads it, and then it sends it to another computer. This number here is the ID of the computer that it sends it to. So ID1, as we saw, that was the sort of the server computer over here. So if your server is something different, that's what you need to change. It does this thing. It says authenticating and waits for a response. You don't need to do this. Obviously, this is just to make it look interesting. The other computer will see in the lock program when it gets this message. It sends something back, depending on whether the input was the correct password or not. So it waits for that response. It waits a second, which is again just a nicety, just for the look of it, and then it prints a message whether the password is correct, incorrect, or whether you've typed lock. Then it waits another couple of seconds, again just for the look of it, and then stops and goes back to the start. It clears the screen and waits for the password again. This program over here, this one's called lock, starts off the same way. RedNet open back, because that's where the modem is, and then it waits for a RedNet message from the modem. It looks to make sure that the message is coming from the right computer. So if ID equals 0, so that's computer 0. So again, you need to change this to the ID of the client computer. This is where you put the password. So the first thing it looks for is if the message is, as we said here, is just the word correct. You change this to whatever password you want. If it gets that, then what it does is it is setting the redstone output on the bottom to false. So it's turning off the redstone signal to the bottom, which obviously will then turn off the Forcefield projector. If the message is lock, then it turns the redstone signal to the bottom to true, to on. So it will turn on the Forcefield projector. Otherwise, it will just say, nope, sorry, and do nothing and go back to the start. That's all there is to it. If you've got any questions, please just let me know in the comments. Bye, guys.